All right, what's going on, guys? So we spoke about this specific example right here. Well, actually, a few. We looked at gold right here on the 1 minute. We looked at Apple on the weekly, and then we showed you a full showcase of where that was of Apple right here on the actual weekly right here and the delivery that came from that to recognize that the full cycle delivers over and over and over again in the event that you have a trending market. Now, once again, as we look inside of here, you'll see the same thing. You can go ahead and pause this and you can look through the overall cycles that are delivering here, but you're going to spot the same things. Now, off of just the tip of my brain, if you were to ask me, where would some of the entries or the MBs that you might have looked for be, my eyes will instantly go to the formation of the MBs that happened here, some of which, by the way, do get traded back to, the MBs that started to happen here, some of which got traded back to, but then instantly went for a very nice move. Specifically the MB right here, specifically the MBs right here, specifically the MBs that started to formulate out of that price action right here, over and over and over again, right? I can highlight the areas that start to meet the overall cycle that we've looked at, right? And once again, this is actually NASDAQ, a future NQ on the 15-second chart. And once again, as you take a look at this, you should be spotting that there is no difference in actual cycle or delivery based on the entry time frame. Because again, we're not here to trade a specific time frame or a market. We're here to trade a story. We're here to trade a context. We're here to trade we're here to trade the composite operators entries and orders and get behind those orders. Okay. Now, again, same exact thing. As we take a look at this, you're going to notice the exact same thing. Okay. So again, if we want to do it, we can. If I was to highlight some areas that I might look for actual entries, now this is not saying that they would hold or that all of them would end up making a runner. Those entries may include some of the areas inside of here. Okay. The areas inside of here. Okay. The areas inside of here. The areas inside of here. The areas inside of this. The areas inside of likely this. And you can see some of these end up completely failing, which is part of the game and in which is why I'm highlighting them very, very clearly to you. Potentially here. And again, you have the exact same thing in terms of the full cycle. Major flush, and you're free to pause this to look through this and understand understand where you are and why I might be showing some of these MBs as areas I might have considered to enter. But again, the point is just to showcase the full cycle to you so you actually understand what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for. That creates that stage 1, stage 2, stage 1, stage 2, goes into a larger stage 1, which of course is going to now be met with the creation of MBs and MBs, and even this MB right here. Okay, and from there, again, if this was your entry, maybe your stop goes somewhere here or lower, depending on the kind of risk you want to assume in a market or the kind of win rate you might want to have or how correct you actually are or something, or what kind of RR you want to pull out of the market. And this itself is actually a crypto. This is FTMUSD on a 4-hour chart. And just so all of you know, this is actually something that one of our members personally traded, made an unbelievable amount of money on, but a market he personally watched and traded at this point right here through that high and held on to this thing. And if you again take a look at where we are, 0.43, I'm going to go over to the right here. I'm going to put this behind us. And once again, as per the Apple example in the last video, in the last portal material video, this area highlighted in green, which is this right here, followed with the entry that we specifically just looked at, which his entry, I believe, just to be 100% clear about this, was not this, but was actually through this right here with a stop somewhere down here. He was able to hold on to this as he envisioned this was the down move before the out move. At some point in this basis of price, he moved himself to break even, or he moved his risk back up so that he's not taking any risk on this. And if we take a look at what's going on here, and we draw it as a line, right, you can see very clearly he never got tapped out, and he got to run this up significantly higher, and then got stopped out around these points right here. Again, he doesn't capture the entire move. He's not here to capture the entire move because he doesn't know where it's going to end. He simply got to trail his overall position over and over and over again, and got stopped out around these prices here, and then price, flushed out to become useless. But again, this is something that a member traded, and this was done on a 4-hour chart 4-hour chart, and this is the aftermath of it. And this is your main video, basically highlighting the fact, okay, that the time frame and the asset class is not the thing that you should be necessarily focused on. What you should be focused on is the actual cycle of the delivery of the market, the overall EVC, in conjunction with the timeframes you're using. And as a main rule, as I wrote right here, let me move this, zoom out a little bit so you guys can see it. The rule is it happens everywhere. A movement will always undergo the general cycle of trend within its EVC. And you've just seen a few examples of that on multiple assets and multiple timeframes to really instill the fact that the time frame you trade does not matter. In a lot of mentorships, and most mentorships, the only way you'll end up trading or getting away with trading well is by trading on a very specific time frame. And usually it's under a 1 minute, 15 second, because a lot of these systems don't understand how markets function. So they look to capitalize on areas that might happen or things that might happen every day, but only happen on a significantly lower time frame. Unlike a lot of mentorships that you might have been in, or if this is your first, good for you, do not look elsewhere. For the first time, you're given a way to think about the market as a whole, to understand how it overall delivers and how it repeats itself over and over again, so you can see how to utilize that on any time frame as an entry basis and on any asset, okay? This is just supposing the E, of course, at the moment, because at the moment, all we've done so far is we focused on the entry-based time frame. Now, some are going to be uglier than others. There's going to be some markets that don't look as clear. And what you'll do in a lot of cases is markets that don't tend to deliver clearly or don't look as clear, and you can take this as a rule, is you walk away from them. There is no purpose in continuously looking to trade something that is proving to move poorly or go up and down in drastic fashion, right? Because what we want to see is a cycle, but not just a cycle, but a clear delivery of that cycle. And that was the purpose of continuously showing you examples so you get used to seeing what you want to see out of a market. Okay, some can be uglier than others, some are going to be much cleaner, and some are going to be more desired by yourself to trade. And again, this is like a huge point that I want you to really hear as I kind of read it to you, as I kind of go over it. And that is because, as I've said over and over and over again, you are building a system for yourself. You are building a skill set for yourself. You are doing something that you're going to be able to rely on. And in doing so, you're going to learn how to desire or understand which assets at any given time, on any given time frame chosen by you, are the ones you want to be interested in, invested in, traded on, taking your trades on, right? And some are going to basically, as we put it all together, some of those are going to fall into your trading plan, and those are the assets you're going to execute upon. There needs to be an understanding that there are hundreds of assets. There's actually thousands of assets to trade in the world, in the markets, in multiple stock markets, in multiple countries, in currencies, whatever it might be. Your job as a trader is to understand the blueprint by which markets move, and these are the starting principles of the blueprint, right? What actually creates these moves, how do moves formulate, and then your job is to hunt them out, to spot them, to trade them as they deliver, as they get created. And there's so many of them that I can't even keep track, right? Just so you guys understand, this thing right here, I've never traded it, I don't think, in my life. Okay, this is something that was just traded by someone that we discussed in one of our webinars on Sundays, which, by the way, you should be showing up to. And this client asked about the trade because he got into it when price was around here, and he said, hey, what do you think about my entry? And I said, this was phenomenal, right? This met the exact rules we go for. And I said, you could have even gotten positioned back here, and it would have been a great trade as well. But he got positioned here. And that same area went on to become a multi-month. So you can see this was from around March till around March 25th, March 30th, so actually a month, or a multi-week is what I meant, a multi-week runner for this client, and he did exceptionally well for himself on this. And again, there are plenty of assets like this. So what I want you to take from this video and this specific point here is, one, you get to see firsthand that this repeats on absolutely everything. But two, just because you see me or someone else trading something or looking at something, yes, it means you can look at it too. But it does not mean that that's the only thing that's in play or good at the moment or the only thing you can be trading. You need to understand and open your mind to the fact that there are limitless, literally limitless opportunities in the market and assets to trade and good assets to be in, and potentially, based on your account size, your entry time frame, the kind of trader you want to be, there are assets that maybe I haven't even considered in my entire life that are going to be good for you. And the beautiful thing about what you're learning through this portal material and learning through here is that you're developing the conviction and the ability to trade those markets in the event that they are clear. And that's where your edge lies. Okay. So this is the full cycle of the entry-based time frame. And we're going to take that to the next level of looking at further entries in a second. But hopefully, out of this, what you've pulled is that the cycle itself on an entry-based time frame repeats over and over again on delivering markets. And those delivering markets can be any time frame and any asset, and even in most cases, more assets than just what I'm personally considering, or what the person next to you is considering, or what the news outlets online are considering, or what the members in the MentorFX mentorship and in this area and the people that are using the tools in the community are watching, right? You need to learn to think and act for yourself. Your main point is building a conviction that you can rely on so you yourself can go, and if you're a 4-hour trader, find trades like this. Or like this, or the ones that come up a little bit higher because maybe you take this kind of entry, right? So like maybe you're taking this entry, you're moving to break even, you're taking your money, and then you're getting out, right? Or you take this kind of entry, you take your money, and you get out, right? Because some of you are going to build out a system like that, as we discussed in the prior few videos, okay? Or you're someone that wants to be on a much lower time frame. You want to be extremely day trade based. You want to take trades that at maximum run about 3 minutes to 5 minutes long. And maybe this is the kind of system you want, where you get in, you start, moving up on that market, and then you get stopped out at break even with nothing to lose. You get in, the price starts to go, you maybe take some money off here, and then it goes for the rest of the day, and you get stopped out finally, just as you saw in the video where I showed you a replay mode of a market where you just simply use the lows of this MentorFX indicator, and you get stopped out right here at the end of the day.